Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yes, sir. We are back at it again on today, on November the 15th, 2017. I am your host, T. Wayne the Don, and you hear them bells ringing, baby. You know it's officially third down. Welcome to the Third Down Show, as we're going to get into a lot of things today. We're going to talk about the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Pelicans tonight will take on the Toronto Raptors at home in the Smoothie King Center, and talk about what's going to take for them to stay over 500 for a long time. Get into them after a while. We're going to get into the college football playoff. I think they got it right for this week. A lot of people don't agree, but I think they got it right because it's controversial. That's all it's starting to become. It's a very, very controversial system. It will shake up, guys. I promise you. Pay attention to the next 2 weeks of college football. We're also going to get into the Thursday night matchup. Thursday night matchup this week with the Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Playoff implication game. The rest of the NFL from this week going forward is going to be big. Also, my wild card of the day in this midweek report, we're going to talk about the Arkansas Razorbacks. And could Arkansas potentially be on the verge to have a new head coach? I think so. The SEC is not looking too good when it comes to these coaching jobs. There's about to be a lot of vacancies this offseason. So we're going to pay attention to that. We're not going to hold that too long. And we're going to get into that. But how many of y'all remember this song that's live on stage on NBA Street 2? Going way back where you had them game breakers. Bouncing off the backboard with Stretch, Biggie Littles, all them type of cats. That was the G back then. Always NBA Street 2, one of the better PlayStation 2 games they had in a long time. But as I said, the New Orleans Pelicans tonight will take on the Toronto Raptors at home for a big game. After the Raptors coming off a big game last night in Houston, the Pelicans has a golden opportunity. They did not lose that bad that last game when they played in Toronto about a week ago. The score, they only lost by 4. 122 to 118 in Toronto. The Pels has a golden opportunity tonight. They are a 3.5-point favorite tonight. Looking at what's coming forward before I get into my next point, the Pelicans' next games are upcoming. They have the Nuggets on the road. Then they come back home and they play Oklahoma City at home. They play the Spurs at home the day before Thanksgiving. Then they go on the road again. They're on the road for 2 games. They go play the Phoenix Suns, and then they go play the Golden State Warriors. Then they're going to come back, and they're going to play the Timberwolves, and I'm going to stop at the Timberwolves because that will be the last game in the month of November, okay? Now, looking at the standings out in the Western Conference as we speak, the Pelicans are the 5 seed. The Nuggets are the 6 seed. Memphis is the 7 seed with 6 losses. They only played 13 games. And Portland is the 8 seed because they only played 13 games as well. Now, looking at who's over the Pels, Minnesota, they will be on your schedule before the end of this month. And also San Antonio will be on your schedule at the end of this next week. Now, this leads me to my point of the day. We're talking about the New Orleans Pelicans. One thing I did see yesterday, I don't know if y'all saw it, the Pelicans had a Nerf fight in the locker room, playing with Nerf balls and shooting Nerf guns at each other. It looks like this team is starting to get closer, and the chemistry is starting to get built. And that's a huge plus, because now we're on the verge of now trying to submit our marks to show that we have a chance in the Western Conference. I like the schedule that's coming up for these guys, especially when you get into Denver and you get into Oklahoma City, who's a struggling Oklahoma City as we speak, as they're trying to bounce back and get back in the playoff hunt. I still believe in my heart that the Oklahoma City Thunder is still a top 5 team. They're just having some communication issues, okay? I still believe they're a top 5 team in the Western Conference. So now it's very, very important that the Pelicans make their statement now. They don't wait to make their statement no time soon. You have to make your statement now. And to me, one thing I think that could really help between right now from being 8-6 to potentially, let's say they play 14 games, they could maybe be 10-4, or hell, even 11-3, is turnovers. The Pelicans are averaging too many turnovers In the month of October, they averaged 17 turnovers. In the month of November, they averaged 16.7. So you round that to 17 turnovers. In these games, they're having too many they turn over the basketball too freely. Last game they had against the Atlanta Hawks, they had 19 turnovers. Okay, the most turnovers they had so far this season was in a win against the Los Angeles Clippers. They had 23 turnovers. 23 turnovers. The least they had so far, one of the least I see on right now, is they had 11 turnovers against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And remember, they won that game big. So turnovers is a key. Let's go back to Portland. They had 17 turnovers in Portland. Every possession in that ball game was key because Anthony Davis went out in the game early. If they at least limit them turnovers and get more points off them turnovers, at least have about 13 turnovers instead of having 17, every little point count. It wasn't a blowout game. They stayed in the game the majority of the game, even without Anthony Davis in that ball game. Remember, Damian Lillard didn't play his best game. C.J. McCollum picked that team up that game, and they put him over to get the dub. So against Minnesota, they had 19. They was in the game. Karl Anthony Towns had no points, and they had 19 turnovers. So this is what I'm starting to see a trend with this basketball team. They're turnover happy. And once again, David Wesley said it earlier in this basketball season. If you let them settle for jump shots, we still gonna have a chance to be in this game. Look like the Pelicans are starting to play more inside, and they start not to settle for that many jump shots. That's how they get more success. Now, look like the game plan could be, well, they're going to turn over the ball many times a game. We still going to be in, have the chance. I would love to see this team could put a complete game together where your starters don't have to play in the fourth quarter. I would love to see it. Because every team, especially when you have the star talent that they have, put games like that eventually. And it just, when everything that night all clicks. Now, you can't get that every night. No, that's not going to happen. But what I'm telling you is that it's a momentum swinger for the rest of the season. It needs to get done soon. I think tonight they win this ball game. They probably win it no more than 5 or 6 points. I think the Raptors are hot, especially after going on the road to beat Houston. I think they win this ball game tonight. I would love to see how the Pelicans are going to respond with Anthony Davis had a bad game. Etuan Moore led that game, guys, last week. So shout out to Etuan Moore on Monday. He had 24 points. But this is a good chance, especially with the schedule they have, especially with Denver on Friday. I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with Denver. Because now you are in a position that you feel like you can stay in all year long. This is where you start cementing yourself and showing that we could potentially be a top 5 basketball team and showing that we deserve to make a deep run in the playoffs. That's all I want to see out the New Orleans Pelicans in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be interesting to see what they do because basketball is starting to start shaping up. Nobody really have a true dominance right now. You know what I'm saying? Houston was the number 1 seeded team, and they blew it. And Harden had a great game. It just, Toronto came in yesterday and they had it on their mind. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very, very, very excited to see what's going to happen with the Pels in the next week, especially the end of the month when they're going to play Minnesota again in New Orleans. That's going to be very interesting to see going forward. Let's talk a little bit about the college football ratings. College football came out last night, and I don't have it in front of me at the moment, so please excuse me. But from what I had, especially in the top 6, I was dead on correct. Shout out to my cousin, Darryl Dewey, who had a big end. We talked about it on Sunday afternoon, and we both gave our respectable opinions about it. Of course, Alabama moved to 1, Clemson went to 2, Miami went to 3, Oklahoma went to 4, Wisconsin went to 5, Auburn went to 6, Georgia went to 7, Notre Dame went to 8, Ohio State went to 9, Penn State went to 10. The highest ranked 2-loss team, it will be the Auburn Tigers, which I figured that before, they will become the highest ranked 2-loss team. They still have a chance to prove their case to make a run for when they take on Alabama in this Iron Bowl. And we're going to get into that next week. Going to be a special treat on Friday next week to talk about them in the Iron Bowl. I don't think they got it wrong. I'm going to tell you why I don't think they got it wrong. Because the simple fact of the matter is, it's only for a week. One of my buddies just said he felt like Oklahoma should have went to 2 because they beat more top 25 opponents, which he has a great case, and he did. He argued out his points. I don't think it's wrong because it will change. Because now when you look at 2 and 3 between Clemson and Miami is going to be big for the ACC championship game. If these two teams continue to win out and facing each other in the ACC championship game, that's your spot. One's eliminated. Oklahoma has to win out. I think Oklahoma will move up eventually if they win out from here on out. Wisconsin is the team that's waiting for everybody to kind of fall. I think Wisconsin will get a spot. There's no doubt in my mind because, like I said, 2 and 3 will change for sure. All right? I think Oklahoma will move up eventually. It wasn't this week, but it will be soon. Okay? And I think a lot of people is dependent upon Auburn to handle their business to see what's going to happen with Alabama as well. Now, we're not going to get into that. We're going to worry about when that game come up down the line later. But I don't think they got it wrong this week. I know a lot of people could be like, well, Oklahoma should be higher. They should be over Clemson. And Miami, to me, Miami's in the right spot for now. Definitely in the right spot for now. It all depends on what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. I think they got it right this week. I really think they got it right. Going forward in the next 2 weeks of the season is when it's almost like a rough draft. And I think what's going to happen especially with Alabama and Auburn, if Alabama and Auburn stay out there and 1 in that 6th spot, that's going to be a good game. I'm telling you guys, there are going to be 2 elimination games in the next 2 weeks, all right? Next week, you're going to have Alabama and Auburn. Alabama could potentially eliminate Auburn from any type of hopes of making the top 4, and Auburn can potentially eliminate Alabama from even have a hope as well. So then you're going to have in the following week, in December the 2nd, you're going to have Clemson and Miami. So it's going to be a lot. If the playoffs would start today with this group, I would say it would be unfair to Wisconsin that it is 10-0. They coming out the Big Ten. And I know earlier they said they got the 67th ranked schedule in the country. It would be unfair for them to come that far. But if it was go in today, Alabama had to play Oklahoma, Clemson had to play Miami, I'll be fair with that. I will potentially say Alabama, I would love to see Alabama and Miami in the finals. But I don't know if Miami really ready for that yet. But if that would happen, we'll see a rematch from last year. But I do believe it's going to shake up again. It will shake up. It's definitely not going to be your final copy of the college football playoff system. It's going to shake up again. It's about to get more controversial, guys. I'm telling you. Me personally, I'm really hoping and praying that this Iron Bowl live up to what I'm thinking it will live up to. I promise you. I'm really hoping and praying that this was going to live up to for us in 2 Saturdays, on Rivalry Week, in 2 Saturdays from now. So let's get on. Let's get ready for that. Also, let's get into my next conversation in the college football in the SEC. What is going on with the SEC right now? They are having more and more vacancies when it comes to jobs. I really want to spend a little time on that before we close the show out. Let's think about it. There will be at least 5 jobs this offseason where the SEC, 5 coaching jobs coming out the SEC will be open and vacant. Let's go. Florida, Tennessee, possibly A&M. I think A&M is done with Kevin Sumlin. I think so because he's not doing much of nothing. What had Kevin Sumlin accomplished besides Johnny Manziel and going to Tuscaloosa and getting a win in Tuscaloosa? What have he done since then? All right. We're going to keep it moving. So A&M, all right. Ole Miss will be open, and potentially Mississippi